All right, never miss a workout again due to pain or injury. And today I'm going to share 3 tips on how to do just that. Number 1, learn correct lifting technique, right? And I'm sure we've all been guilty of it before, getting sloppy with our technique. Maybe we're grinding it out to increase muscle mass or strength, but how effective is it going to be if you're doing it with sloppy form and risking the chances of injury or agitating an existing one? Right? Furthermore, not only can we potentially cause injury to ourselves, but we are losing out on true potential gains by not maximizing tension on the intended muscle groups. So you want to make sure you feel the right muscles working, right, when you're lifting. So you should have a basic understanding of what muscles you should be using and how they feel for every exercise. So if you're deadlifting and you're not feeling your hamstrings, your lats, your glutes engaged, you're not only missing out on potential gains, but are risking injury. So what happens is when we then place excessive tension on the stabilizing muscles, which are meant to carry that load, you're putting a lot of emphasis on your lower back. And if your lower back is primarily the one achy or painfully sore, then you should definitely take a step back and focus on relearning proper form and muscle activation. All right, tip number 2, spend time focusing on joint health. And what does joint health really mean? Right? Our joints are, complex machines, and if the muscles are in balance, the joints won't function properly and will eventually break down. Right? Joint health can mean a myriad of things like mobility, stabilizing muscle strength, connective tissue movement, and balanced tension from all angles. But this is where seemingly simple changes in your routine or movements can have a significant difference on the overall results of an exercise and your potential strength. For example, if you want to improve your squat strength, spending time strengthening your erectors, glutes, hip flexors, as well as working to make sure you can move through a full range of motion of a squat without compensation will improve your hips, your hip mechanical positioning immensely. All right, tip number 3, become your own injury detective. Exercising with chronic pain can be very difficult for many reasons. It's natural for us to be cautious about exercising as you don't want to worsen your pain. But there is usually a way to improve or eliminate your pain in the meantime, or just work around it. But by learning what muscles you should be using and learning how to feel them should give yourself an ability to help you self-analyze the problem and take action. So here are 3 steps to do just that. Number 1 is recognize the injured muscle groups. If you've been working out for years, this should be an easy step. But if you're not sure, I highly recommend seeing a physical therapist to help you diagnose the affected area. Number 2, understand how you got injured, right? This step can be tricky because the injury or pain can be caused by several things. It can come from years of accumulative wear and tear caused by a faulty movement pattern that you weren't really aware of. Pain can come from scar tissue and compensation patterns caused by old injuries, eventually creating stress on the joint or muscle. Pain could also be from improper technique or overworking the same muscles on a specific angle on a joint. But once you have a good understanding of your injury, it'll be easier to create a plan to remedy that problem. Right? The goal is to help you figure out how to modify and correct instead of giving up. Number 3, targeting lagging muscle groups. We all have at least 1 or 2 muscles or muscle groups that are underdeveloped. For example, most of us, sitting and working at a desk for long hours leads to, underactive glutes and hamstrings, tight chest muscles, and a weak back. Also, natural imbalances result from, favoring our dominant side. What happens then is that some muscles end up weakened either by underuse or prolonged time in a lengthened position. And once you figure out your imbalances, which if you're not sure, is something a good personal trainer should help you do. But once you get that down, now you can get very specific on selecting a series of exercises that will help target those weak links. And doing this will help you rebalance your joints, stabilize your main movement muscles more, and build a strong body awareness to optimize your mind and muscle connection. I'll use myself as an example. When I dealt with elbow tendonitis, this was due to overworking my lower half of the tricep, placing an emphasis on the lower joint of the elbow. And what I was doing to overwork this area was heavily using exercises like elbows in chest press, tricep extensions, and dips. Right? The two exercises I used to remedy, this issue was the overhead tricep extension with a cable rope, which emphasized tension up on the upper tricep muscle, closer, which is closer to the armpit, and strengthen the weaker part of the muscle group. The second exercise was a supine grip dumbbell press. The positioning of my palms in a palms up position or a supine position placed less stress on the lower portion of my tricep, allowing me to continue to work on my upper body and chest without exacerbating the injury. All right, so there you have it, 3 tips. But in all honesty, it won't be perfect at first, right? But the goal is to learn to train smarter and not give up when you're in pain. So if this is an area that you feel like you need help with, we recommend a focused series of sessions to train with us so that we can help you manage around your injuries or your imbalances. So I can tell you it provides so much value, and by the end of your first session, to give you a good idea and provide you guys a strategic plan on how to manage and approach your injury or imbalances, to make sure that you're set up right moving forward with your workouts. But if you're interested and want to learn more and you want to talk with us on a one-on-one, I highly recommend that you check out our website at pdxstrengthsociety.com. Let's be in touch and let's do this.